Hello, good morning. It is today, Friday, October 11th. It's 7:02 a.m. Anyway, I was sitting here and I was reading my Facebook and reading, different people are requesting for things in the community, and somebody wrote that they're looking for a studio for their little family. Let me repeat that. A studio apartment for their little family. Other people are like saying single mom looking for a studio for my, me and my son or something. This one said little family, which to me, I interpret that there's more than two people, probably three people, a studio. So then I look in my community, which is in the Bay Area, but kind of like on the edge of the Bay Area. And our rents here are 14% higher than the national average. But I went on a road trip across country and went to many, many states and looked at the housing in many, many states. And it's like the wages and the housing are not matching. There's no place that you can go and sit there and work and be able to afford housing. People who think like, oh, well, maybe I'll move to such and such a state because it's less to live there. Yeah, if you have a pension, if you're on Social Security and you're getting paid from a higher state, your dollar will go farther there. And some of those states don't tax the pensions and won't tax it. But beyond that, let's look past that. So then I researched a little bit. The studios where I live, the average is $1,292 a month. Now, usually places want 3 times the rent, which then I did the math, $3,876 would be what you needed to make. Our so-called minimum wage or lower wage has now, I don't even know what it is. I really don't know what it is because I don't know, we're not following the federal minimum wage because of cost of living. That's what I think. I don't know. All I know is that people don't have money. This is talking about just a studio. A studio. And that's probably a low-end studio because I've seen rooms for rent that are costing more than that. So anyway, it reminded me of this. Let's see. I'm going to flip it. All right. So a studio, $1,292 a month. So in order to make that, you would need to make $24.23 an hour, work 8 hours a day, and that's before taxes. You would be able to cover that 3 times the rent. But at $20, you don't... you definitely aren't making it with that. For the studio, okay, so you can have several people working and you got to work more than one job, obviously. That's the expectation. But that didn't used to be the expectation. That did not used to be the expectation. Anyway, this little thing here I like to do. When I was young, 1982, I used to go over a bridge that came into my community that cost 0.40 cents. 40 cents. You would throw the money in a basket. It was 40 cents. My wage at that time was minimum. It was $3.35 an hour. Now the same bridge, I'm not even sure what it costs. It's $6 or $7. So I went low, put 6. And I did the math because I did learn a little bit of math. That's an equivalent of an hourly rate of $50.25. That's the difference in the ratio. 40 cents to go over the bridge. Your minimum wage was $3.35. $6. The ratio to be an equivalent here is $50.25. And nobody is starting a job at $50.25 at a minimum wage unless they have some type of degree, special skill, something. And even then, when they have that, because they tell you to get that, it doesn't mean you will make that. Hence, we have a lot of college-educated people in this country that are working multiple jobs and working at Starbucks, working at different places, working at jobs where they're then get into a job and they're making good money and they relocate and then the job is cut, a lot of the tech jobs. This is disgusting. And what's even more disgusting is that people of like my generation and older are thinking that these young people aren't trying hard enough. They're not working hard enough. They need to go to school. They need to get an education. That's what they get for not getting an education. Yet they've gotten an education, a lot of them, and they got a lot of student debt. And then a lot of them didn't get an education, and they think that they failed because they didn't get an education. The whole education system is also part of the big financial mess that we're in. What are they getting an education in? Are they being counseled? Are they anything? Anything. Will the jobs be there for them? The difference in this country and a lot of other countries that are, you don't want to live in, is that we have opportunities here, but our opportunities are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're working harder and harder and harder and being pushed more and more and more and made to feel maybe if we get that next title after our name, then we'll make it. Or maybe if we can do this. And it's just like, it's a mess. That's all I can say. It's a mess. But anyway, just keep working, keep doing whatever you're doing. Enjoy your day. Make sure whatever you're doing, you at least kind of like a little bit, just a little bit. You like it a little bit. But what it reminded me of when this woman that I'm assuming it's a woman from her Facebook and said that it's just like heartbreaking. She wanted to, find a little studio. It reminded me of when I used to play like Little House with my sisters. Let me flip it. We used to decorate our little house with furniture. This is really old furniture, probably from the 50s. And we'd have our little dressers. And we'd imagine what our future would be like and what our houses would be like. It was fun. I like this one. I was a little girl and played with this. Now I feel like I'm going to be sitting in a rocking chair. Rocking chairs. I played with this as a little girl. Had one, you rock your baby and she's all grown up. Yeah, next stop, we know. All right. I love you guys. Take care.